Hello everyone. So welcome back to Acid, Bases and Salts Part 2. So today we are going to complete this chapter. So this is your Mahavir sir from Mahavir Jain Academy. So let us try to understand. Just recalling back, we discussed about acids, bases and all those things, properties and all. And at last we discussed about the reaction of the metallic oxides with acids. Hope you remember what I said, that any sort of metallic oxides, they will react with what? They will react with the acid. What is the reason behind that? Because all the metallic oxides will behave as a base, and as I mentioned you earlier, that all the metal oxides, metal carbonates, metal bicarbonates, all these things behave as a base, and they will be reacting with any sort of acid, and they will form respective salt and water. Any other example we can take already. So let us start with the next chemical property, that is reaction of the non-metallic oxide with the bases. Now, already I mentioned you regarding this. Now, see, they're telling reaction of the non-metallic with the bases. Now, non-metallic oxide, if they are reacting with the base, that means what? That means non-metallic oxides are behaving as what? Yes, behaving as what? They are behaving as a acid. They show the acidic property. That's the reason they are able to react with the base, and they form their respective salt and water. This reaction is also called as an what? Neutralization reaction. Either acid will react with the base or the base will react with the acid. So we call those reactions as a neutralization reaction, where they form the respective salt and the water. Here they have taken an example of the carbon dioxide and the calcium hydroxide, that is the lime they are speaking about. See here, calcium hydroxide, which is a base, reacts with the carbon dioxide, produces salt and water. So they will form the salt, so-called calcium carbonate. So remember, this will form the white PPT precipitate, or there is appearance of the milkiness. And the same thing also we discussed during the reaction between the metal carbonates and metal bicarbonates with the acids and all. So same thing will happen over here. So this is all about the non-metallic oxides with the bases. The next one, this is the interesting thing. Next, what we are going to discuss. So 1 mark questions might arise from this particular concept. I will tell you what sort of question will come. So let us try to understand. Now see here, what they are trying to tell over here is, see, what is common? We know the difference between the acids and bases and all. Now they are asking what is common. So what is similar between the acids and bases? That also we should see, right? Like how we differentiate in the biology. What is the difference between the animal cell and plant cell? Similarly, we will tell that what is common between the plant and animal cell. Cell membrane is common, sir. Nucleus is common. Both are having what? Mitochondria. So like that. Acids and bases, even though they have different properties, but so many things are common. Like in you and your friends are there, no? Some things will be common, right? That's the reason we'll become close friends and all. So like that. See, acids and bases both behave as the electrolytes. What they behave? They behave as the electrolytes. Means what? Both are good conductor of what? Not bus conductor, good conductor of electricity. Good conductor of electricity. Which one? Acids and bases. Why they are good electrolytes? Means if you pass the current between the any acids or bases, they conduct the electricity. Electricity can pass through it. What is the reason? You take the example of the HCl. In the water, they dissociate to form H plus and Cl minus. Similarly, you take the example of sodium hydroxide, which is a base. They will dissociate, or in the aqueous state, they produce what? Na plus and OH minus ions. What is this plus and minus ions? That means both are capable of producing what? Both are capable of producing anions and cations. Yes or no? Okay, both they can produce positive and negative charge. When two charges are there, that definitely they can allow the current to pass through it. So that is a common. That's what they are trying to tell here. The bulb will start glowing in the case of acids and bases also, because these ions carries the electric current. These ions, plus and minus ions, are there, no, what we call cation and anion. They are capable of conducting charges, hence they behave as the electrolytes. Similarly, so let us try to understand the next point now. See here, but so two things are common. One, both are good electrolytes. Both can produce in the aqueous state the ions and all. But there are some questions might arise in which solution the charges or the electric current will not flow. So remember these options, that is the sugar, alcohol will not are bad conductor of electricity, means they will not allow the electric currents to pass through, is bad conductor of electricity. Why they are bad conductor? Because this glucose, this sugar or alcohol or distilled water, when they will not dissociate to produce plus and minus ions, but acids and bases they can produce the ions. Hence these acids and bases are good conductor. Sugar and alcohol are bad conductor of electricity. They will not conduct any electric current. So same diagram they are given here. This is also one of the important diagram. That is the acid conduction in water conducts the electricity. You can see there. So what they have done here, in the beaker they have kept one rubber cork and they attach two electrode. One is connected to the cathode and anode, and they maintain the gap. So in that there is an acid solution or base solution. So if the bulb will glow in the circuit, that means acid is a good conductor of electricity, base is good conductor of electricity. If you put a solution as a distilled water, there will be no ions will be there in the distilled, which is the purest form of the water. We cannot drink all the distilled water and all. Tap water, definitely some ions will be there. They will conduct the electricity. Similarly, glucose and alcohol, if you take in the setup, no, definitely the bulb will not glow because they will not produce any sort of ions, or they will not dissociate to produce any sort of ions. So hence they will not conduct electricity. This is very simple. So practice that. See, that's what we discussed now. Same thing they are trying to tell here. You can just observe very carefully that acids contain H plus ions as cation and corresponding anion. It might be Cl minus or it might be the SO4 minus, whatever. They contain positive and negative charge. Similarly, in HNO3 they have H plus and they have NO3 minus. H plus and NO3 minus. Similarly, in H2SO4 they have two H plus ions and what they have? And they have SO4 2 minus ions. Okay, just excuse me because these symbols are on the right side. Always Cl minus ion should come here. Okay, 3 minus, 2 minus. So it should be in this position. So similarly, from above examples, it is clear that all the acids have H plus ions in common. We all know that. That means cations are there. Similarly, in the bases also, they have cations and the anions in the form of OH minus ion. Hence, they behave as the electrolytes as they are having the ions and they dissociate these ions. So hence, they can conduct the electricity as they have the charges also. So this is clear. Hope. Okay. Any doubts are there? Please do not forget to mention in the comment section. I'm going to revert back to you. Again, there is one more activity here. Preparation of the HCl gas. How the HCl gas can be produced is very simple. When sulfuric acid react with the sodium chloride, they form sodium hydrogen sulfate plus HCl. In this test tube, what they have done, they have taken the sodium chloride and they are adding what? Sulfuric acid. When the reaction will happen, no, they produce the gas. Which gas? That is the HCl gas. Now what they have done, they are holding this litmus paper, blue litmus paper near the HCl gas. We all know that HCl gas is an acid, hydrochloric is an acid. So as per our knowledge, that when we dip the blue litmus paper, the color should change from blue to red. We know that. But remember, when the litmus paper will, when actually the litmus paper will change the color, either one of them should be in a liquid, in a liquid state. Means what? Now the dry gas is coming, HCl gas, and when you hold the litmus paper near that, definitely litmus paper color will not change. Why? Because जो HCl गैस में जो H प्लस आयन से है ना, वो डिसोसिएशन सब तब होगी जब उसको पानी मिल जाएगा. तो दोनों, ये लिटमस पेपर भी ड्राई है एंड दिस HCl गैस आल्सो ड्राई. Definitely there is no question of dissociation or producing of the H plus ions. But when we make the litmus paper wet and hold near the HCl gas, that time what will happen? From the HCl gas, this H plus ions will react with the litmus paper, then only the color will change. Then only the color will change. Hope it is clear. Say for example, अभी आप चाय बना रहे हो, देखिए मैं एक वेसल लेके उसमें शक्कर, चाय और टी पाउडर डाल दूंगा और पानी भी डाल दूंगा, चाय हो जाएगा, टी बन जाएगा? नहीं है ना. हीट एनर्जी इज रिक्वायर्ड, राइट? यस सर, नो? तो वाटर इज रिक्वायर्ड, राइट? मिल्क इज रिक्वायर्ड, राइट? देन ओनली the ions will dissociate and the chemical reaction will take place. So understood. Now don't write in exam that like about this, about the tea and all. I know you will not write. Just telling you, because so many times I'll be giving general examples and all. No, sometimes what will happen, those general examples will be mentioned in the exams by some students and all. If I ask the reason, what they'll tell you, no, sir, you only explained in the class, this is example. Then what? Then I will be like, my mouth shut. I cannot help it out because I only told that general example. अभी जो बताया ना टी प्रिपेयर करने का, ऐसा हो जाएगा. चलो ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. See here, same thing that trying to tell here. Acids produce ions only in aqueous solution. Okay, when there is no water, there is no H plus ions. When there is no water, there is no OH minus ions. Remember, that's the reason we tell acids or bases, they produce ions only in their aqueous state. Aqueous state means when they come in contact with the water. Okay, so this above diagram, just now what we discussed, contains reaction of the sulfuric acid, that is hydrogen sulfate, and the sodium chloride produces the sodium hydrogen sulfate and the hydrochloric acid. HCl gas come out of the delivery tube. This gas tested with the wet blue litmus paper, then only it will change its color. If the litmus paper is not wet, if it is not wet, definitely there will be no change in color because those H plus ions will not interact with the litmus paper. There is no question of the change in color. So hope it is clear, this one also. So this is again the same thing what we discussed earlier, but yes, so let us try to understand this one a little more cautiously. This is very simple. So generally what we call, acids will produce H plus ions, but those H plus ions will not sit quiet. जब आप क्लास में दंगे कर रहे हो तो टीचर बाहर फेंक दिया, बाहर जाके आप क्या करोगे? साइलेंट, चुप तो नहीं बैठोगे. जब क्लास में टीचर था तब भी आप आवाज कर रहे थे, अभी बाहर भेज दिया, आपको फ्रीडम मिल गया है ना. अगेन यू विल interact with somebody over there. Same thing happens here. Let us try to understand that. That is very interesting over here. See here, what we know that HCl, when they come in contact with the water, it will dissociate to produce what? H plus and Cl minus ion. We know that acids will produce the H plus ions. But again, this H plus ions will combine with the water and they produce H3O plus ions. That's what they are trying to tell. That is the hydronium ions. Which ions we call them as? Hydronium. Remember the word hydronium. In generally, we can tell that acids will produce, instead of H plus ions, we can tell they produce hydronium ions. But bases, what they produce OH minus ion, again they will not go and interact with the any sort of water, and they will not make it as like how it is happening like H3O, or they will not make H3O2 and all. They will not happen. It will not happen. Okay. So, but yes, acids, whatever the H plus ions are released, So those ions again they combine with the water molecule. They can see here H plus, okay, then water molecule H2O, they will form what? H3O plus ions. The plus charge will be above. While making PPT, little bit errors are there. You need to adjust. I hope you are not that much uncomfortable with these things. हो जाता है कभी कभी बड़े बड़े पीपीटी बनते वक्त छोटा छोटा गलती हो जाता है आप भी थोड़ा एडजस्ट करो यार ओके वो पीपीटी करने में मेरे को 3 दिन लगा हुआ है होप माय हिंदी इज गेटिंग बेटर आफ्टर टॉकिंग टू यू गाइस okay so but in the classes and all try not to speak in regional language okay that's very important how much you speak in English that much you learn because tomorrow all you are going to do the jobs and all when you go for interview and all the first thing is the communication what they check your appearance your body language how you speak how you use the words that is very important so still time is there try to speak with your classmates only in English converse in the English only then only the flow will come otherwise very difficult otherwise you'll become like Mahavir sir then yes okay okay so for base same things here so they'll produce Na plus and OH minus ions OH minus ion they will not again interact with any H2O and they will not form any sort of O2 H3 ions and all. Nothing will happen okay base generate only hydroxide ions itself minus should come here okay fine acids and water you know RRR movie you've seen right NTR will be like you know what water and Ram Charan will be like fire so आग और water पानी और आग के बीच में बहुत झगड़ा होता रहता है वो मूवी में जो दिखाया इधर हमारा चैप्टर में RRR नहीं है okay AW है acids and water okay let us try to understand see when we are making any dilute solution or when we are mixing any or acid and water together it's not like we will add the water into the acid remember okay very important they'll ask give reason so many times they ask in the previous year question paper give reason why the water should not be added into acid why we should add the acid into the required amount of water okay see here if we add acid if we add water into the acid that means this is the acid and I am adding what? I am adding the water into it. So what will happen? See, the reaction between the water and acid is highly exothermic. Highly exothermic. Exothermic reaction is a type of reaction in which large amount of heat is liberated. Large amount of heat energy is liberated over there. Then when you take the acid, when we put the water, so that reaction is exothermic where large amount of heat is liberated. That solution might splash हमारे ऊपर आके गिर सकता है वो burst हो सकता है so we can get hurt or we can get burned because of the acid so that's the reason what we should do we should take the required amount of water and required amount of the acid then what we should do we should add the acid into the water slowly how slowly धीरे धीरे okay धीरे धीरे में धीरे धीरे okay I so many times so many songs will come when I'm teaching and all that is but I don't know to sing the song that's a problem if you know the song you can just sing and show me once we'll meet definitely okay now see here what I was telling so we should mix the acid into the water slowly by constant stirring. Sir, you told not to mix the water into acid. I can take the acid and suddenly put it inside the water. Then same thing will happen. Exothermic. Then definitely it will splash out and it will burn us. So we need to take the water and the acid and what we should do. See there what they're telling. The acid must always be added to the water. We should take the acid and add to the water slowly along with that constant stirring. stirring. Then definitely the liberation of heat energy will be not all of the sudden, but it will be there, but slowly, because they are also adding slowly, no. So the reaction also happens slowly. So, if you do so, if water is added to a concentrated acid, the heat generated may be cause the mixture to splash out and cause the burst. The glass container may also break, not may also, it will break, but don't try, okay? Don't ask your teacher, sir, let us, they're telling, no. Some children will be there. Sir, they're telling not to add the water to the acid, but let us prove it. Let us add and check it out. What will happen? Don't do all those things. Okay. So such process is a dilution. You know, right? Concentrated acid and dilute acid. Dilute acid means what? More amount of water will be there, less amount of acid will be there. Concentrated acid means what? More amount of acid will be there, less amount of water will be there. We call it as concentrated. We'll discuss that further. Hope it is clear. Yes, if it is clear. Forgot to mention one thing. If you are really understanding what I'm trying to tell, please do subscribe. Okay, this is my first YouTube video, and please comment any feedback is there, any improvement is there. Definitely I'll improve. Going forward, I am going to solve the most expected questions for the midterm exam, and control and coordination chapter is going to come this week. Okay, all those things are happening. Before that, one more very important thing is, whatever the activities are there in acid, bases and salt chemical reaction equation, all those activities I am going to do inside the laboratory, and I am going to upload for you. It will be fun. Trust me. जो महावीर सर बोलता है वो करता है कि नहीं पता नहीं, लेकिन जब मैं आपको बच्चों को बोलता हूं ना, वो जरूर करके दिखाता हूं. That's what they're trying to tell you. See, what? Why do we add acids to water and not water to acid? This is what will happen. This is the right. Slowly, constant stirring. Suddenly, if you add the water, definitely exothermic reaction, heat energy, it will splash out. Okay. Now comes the interesting topic now. pH, universal indicator, pH. Again, so many colors are there, right? Different colors we can see on the what? pH scale. Actually, pH scale, it's just for reading. Okay, understand? If you are done, if in the school, if they are done the activity, you will be knowing. Okay, you should see that how it looks like. Okay, some will think that we will dip the pH scale inside the acid, and on the scale we will see the reading. No, there will be separate pH papers will be there. That pH scale is just for reading. Different colors will be there. I'll show you. Let us try to understand that. This is how the pH scale will look like. Scale means it will be not this much big and all. A very small strip-like structure will be there. When I do the activities, you will come to know that for sure. Okay. Now see here, pH scale. Okay. Before that, let us try to understand the definition of the pH and all. P stands for potence. H stands from the H plus or hydrogen ions. Power of H plus ions. Power of hydrogen ions. We call it as pH scale. Based on the concentration of the H plus ions in the nature of the solution, will determine what is the pH, how strong the acid is there, how weak the acid is there, how mild the acid is there, or how strong the base is there, how weak the base is there, how moderate or mild the base is there. So we will do that. So how this pH scale or universal indicator is made? By combining so many other indicators, several indicators, synthetic or natural, they make one universal indicator that is common for all the different solutions. Okay, that is called as pH scale. So it depends on what? pH scale is based on the H plus ions. Based on what? H plus ions, remember. So let us try to understand. I'll tell as simple as possible. It's very simple, don't get confused and all. Okay, so we usually, what do you think? The reading of the pH scale, what we know, that the reading of the pH scale is 0 to 14, and we tend to believe that 14 means full acid, strong acid, sir. 14 0, 1 and all बहुत कम है, तो वो तो वीक एसिड होगा. 13, 14 वो तो बहुत हाईएस्ट नंबर है, वो पूरा स्ट्रॉन्ग एसिड. सात, छः, सात, आठ क्या होता है, वो नॉर्मल बेस होता है शायद. No, it's not like that. Okay, see here. See, the pH scale reading is from 0 to 14. Remember, 0 to 14. If the value of the solution is, if the pH value is 7, that means remember that is the neutral. That is what? Neutral. Now see here, listen carefully. When we start going below 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that means acidic nature will increase. What will increase? Acidic nature will increase as we go lesser than the 7. That means what? 6 and 5, weak acid. 4 and 3, mild acid. 2 is strong acid. 1 is stronger acid. 0 is strongest acid. Strongest acid. Understand what I'm trying to tell? When you come below the 7, the acidic nature will always, remember, acidic nature will increase. That means what? H plus ions will also increase when we go anything below 7. Clear? Now, anything above the 7, 7 is neutral. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That means what? Alkaline. Alkaline or basicity, or basic nature will what happen? Will increase anything above the 7. Like 8, 9, weak base, 10, 11, mild base, 12 is a strong base, 13 is stronger base, 14 is the strongest base. It's very, very stronger, 14th. So what they have done, they have given the pH scale and they have given the different colors for the pH scale over here. Different colors for each of the pH value. How we can remember? So usually in exams and all, they will not tell if it is a blue color, tell me the pH value. No, they will give the case-based questions and all. Let us try to understand. Now see here, if you take the example of one such question, they will tell here, P, the pH value of solution P is 1.5, Q is 7.8, R is 13, S is 6. These are the 4 solutions. They will tell you, tell me the which is which solution is a strong acid, which solution is a weak acid, which is a mild, which is a weak base and all. They'll ask, or they'll tell, categorize this 4 solution into acids and bases. Very simple. Case base means they will give the names for the P, Q, R, S, or they might ask A, B, C, D, whatever. Let them take. We know if the pH value is 1.5, that means it is what? It is the strong acid. It is what? It is a strong acid. If the pH value is 7.8, that the solution Q is what? It is a weak base. It is what? It is a weak base. If the pH value of R, solution R is 13, 13 means what? It is a strong base. If the pH value of the solution S is 6, that means it is a weak acid. Very simple. Very, very simple. While writing the answer, sometimes I have seen in the answer sheets and all, which is a strong acid. If they ask, they will not write the solution P. Instead of that, they will write 1.5. It is wrong. They are asking the name of the solution. Already they only give the names P, Q, R, S, and all. You should mention that only. Okay. So remember that. Okay. So general examples like bleaching powder, what we use, it is a strong base, pH will be around 13. Ammonia, which is used in the fertilizers, it is a mild base. Baking soda, what we take during acidity and all, so that is again weak base. Water, pure water, not the tap water. हमारा नल्ली में जो पानी आता है ना, you can get surprises over there. So many surprises will be there. We cannot tell, we cannot take the pH paper and dip, and we cannot tell the reading is pH value is 7 and all. Why? Because it is a combination of everything. हम साथ साथ है, पानी में जो साथ साथ रहता है ना, वो दूसरा चीज होता है उधर पानी में. So सभी कुछ गंदगी वो वगैरह मिक्स रहता है. जैसा इट इज गुड टू हैव द फिल्टर वाटर. Again, not the tap water. Nowadays, no typhoid and all, it has become very common because of this climatic and rainy season. गटर का पानी कौन सा है और नाला का पानी कौन सा है, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. चलो ठीक है. कॉफी, again it is slightly acidic. That's the reason early morning better not to have tea, not to have the coffee empty stomach. If you have the empty stomach, what will happen? First of all, inside stomach HCl is there, which is a strong acid. On that, if you are having coffee or tea, then gone case, acidic level will increase. Then you start burning, acid reflux will happen. Then you start burning sensation, चक्कर आने लगता है, vomiting होता है. That's the reason early in the morning, once you wake up from the bed, drink warm water, sip by sip, like how you drink the tea. At least 1 to 2 glass of water. Then you check. So many changes will happen inside, within your health and all. It will keep you hydrated throughout the day. Acidity will not happen, and there will be no indigestion problem and all those things. So early morning, stop having the tea. After breakfast, little bit you should have. That is a tea, yeah. That is a coffee. Juice नहीं है. बड़े बड़े लोटे में जूस पीते हैं ना, ऐसे पीते कुछ लोग. I don't know. Fine. Vinegar, that is acetic acid, pH value is 3. Then lemon, citrus acid, pH value is 2, strong. Stomach C, your pH value is around 1. Can you imagine? pH value of the HCl in the stomach will be 1 to 3. Okay, it's a very strong acid. Then only the pepsin enzyme can break down the proteins into amino acids. Otherwise, it will not break down. Okay, very simple. So hope it is clear. Yes, yes, yes. Go across this one question from this. Okay, compulsory. Mark my words. If you want, you can take the screenshot also. So next one. That's what they tell here. pH of the neutral solution is 7. pH of the acidic solution is less than 7. pH of alkaline solution is more than 7. pH value from 7 to 14 represent an increase in the OH minus ion. Anything 7 to 14 OH minus ions will increase. Anything 7 to 0 H plus ions will increase. Very simple. Okay. Increase the strength of alkali. Okay. Alkali means what? Alkali. Water soluble bases are called as alkalis. Remember, all the bases will not get dissolved in the water and all. Water soluble bases, which the bases like sodium hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide, or calcium hydroxide, which will dissolve inside the water. Such bases we call them as alkalis, not anarkalis. Anarkali is different, alkali is different. Some people will write there, instead of alkali, they will write anarkali. Anarkali, kidhar chali? Mention in the comment, we'll see how much knowledge you have about this songs and all. Fine. The strong acids and weak acids, strong base and weak base. Very, very simple. Okay. Just now I told you, hope you remember, just 5 minutes back. Just 5 minutes back. It was slang of Malayalis. See here, strong acids means what? They give rise to more number of H plus ions. They give rise to more number of H plus ions. Strong base means what? They produce more number of OH. What is mean by more number, sir? Now, if I am taking around 50 ml of the acid and I dissolve in the water. Now, they are producing what? Means complete ionization will happen. That means all that HCl is there, no? That HCl is breaking down to produce all the H plus ions. Now 10 molecules, around 12 molecules of HCl is there. Instead of that, 12 H plus ions. All are dissociating, all are separating. Complete ionization is taking place. Complete dissociation is taking place. That's what when we call it as what? Strong acid. Weak acid means what? What is happening in the weak acid? Out of 10 molecule of hydrochloric acid, only few H plus ions are dissociating or they are producing. Remaining incomplete. That means what? Incomplete dissociation is happening. If today teacher is giving the homework, right? So if you write complete homework means you are a strong person. If you write here and there little bit and try to skip the homework, that means you will become weak student. That's how it will work. Yes or no? Yes. Similarly, strong base and weak base. Strong base means what? They produce more number of, you are right, say it, more number of OH minus ions. More number. So many OH ions. Means number of OH minus ions will be more. Complete ionization takes place. Similarly, weak base means what? Less number of what? Less number of OH minus ions will be produced. Example, you can say HCl, H2SO4, H1O3 is example for strong acid. And you can take the weak acid example like, hydrogen carbonate, acetic acid, and you also can take the example of H2SO3 and all those things. Similarly, strong base, you can take the example of potassium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide. Weak base, you can take example of ammonium hydroxide, ferrous hydroxide, or you can take the example of magnesium hydroxide, so-called milk of magnesia, which is used as an antacid. All the gelosyl and all what we use Omis tablet for acidity and all. In that there will be content. You can read it on the ingredients of the tablet. There will be a mentioning of what milk of magnesia, दूध का magnesia. Milk of magnesia is also called a दूध का magnesia. Okay, fine. So next one is role of pH in everyday life. How important the pH is there in everyday life? It is very important, right? Our blood body pH should be maintained around 7.35 to 7.45. Any slight variation, no, the enzyme or the microbes or the cells will not work properly. Inside the stomach, definitely the pH value should be maintained around 1 to 3. HCl is there, no? Then only the pepsin will break down the proteins into amino acid. Similarly in the soil, similarly in the mouth. So many are there. So let us try to understand the role of pH in everyday life. किसका लाइफ, हमारा और तुम्हारे लाइफ में क्या इंपॉर्टेंस है, वही हम पढ़ने जा रहे हैं. दैट इज नथिंग बट रोल ऑफ पीएच इन एवरीडे लाइफ. इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ पीएच इन एवरीडे लाइफ. फर्स्ट वन, पीएच change and survival of the animals. See, our body works well within the narrow pH range of 7 to 7.8. Okay, when the any fluctuation in, see, if you consuming any medicines or tablets, no, cough syrup and all, you check the pH of that range will be always in this range only. They cannot alter the pH, otherwise you cannot survive. Similarly, the acid rain, if the pH value of the rainwater is less than what? Less than 5.6, then it is called as acid rain. What? You know very well what is acid rain and all. Don't explain again. What is acid rain? Acid rain means what? See, because of the exhaust of the automobiles, engines and also or factory gas and all, so much of pollution will happen in that atmosphere. Which gas will be there? Like carbon dioxide will be there, or there will be sulfur dioxide and all. If the sulfur dioxide will mix with the rainwater, then it will form what? H2SO4, sulfuric acid. Similarly, carbon dioxide, when it mix with the water, it will form what? Carboxylic acid. Similarly, nitrogen dioxide, which is present in the atmosphere because of the air pollution, when it's mixed with the rainwater, it will become what? HNO3, nitric acid, and definitely they are going to cause the damage to the aquatic plants, animals, and damage the quality of the monuments and all. It is going to cause the skin related disease in the human beings, and also it's going to cause the acidic soil, like when it comes in contact with the soil and all. So that is about the pH change and the survival of the animals. Next one is what? pH in our digestive system. We know pH in our digestive system, that means pH value of the digestive system, that means there is a HCl, hydrochloric acid, inside our stomach, which is released by the which gland? Which gland? Which gland? Gastric gland. A gastric gland will secrete HCl, mucus and pepsin enzyme. HCl will make the food acidic, so that the pepsin enzyme can break down the proteins into amino acid. We all know that. That's the reason HCl is released inside our stomach. When the acidic level will increase inside our stomach because of indigestion, because of having the oily food, junk food, pani puri, kurkure, gobi manchuri, samosa, क्या क्या खाते हो यार, बाहर मत खाओ. The oil water they using in the market, that is a processed oil, that is a palm oil. It's very dangerous to the health, injurious to health. It will cause the cancer, it will cause the heart related disease, what not. So don't have outside food. That have home food. Whatever you want, tell your mom, I want to have this. Bring those items, they give to her. She prepare best. The best cook in the world is what? Our mother only, right? काय को बाहर जाने का, खाने का, पेट का खराब करने का, बाद में एंटी एसिड लेने का. What is antacid then? When the acidic level will increase, no? So that time what will happen? Acid reflux will happen. In the digestion will happen. We start feeling burning sensation or kind of heat generated inside the stomach. Then inside the esophageal, GERD. Okay, so acid reflux will come near our throat. Sometimes vomit will happen. All those things happen. What when you tell to your mother, what the first thing your mother will do? She will go and take the soda. Which soda? Baking soda. Then she will put inside a glass. Little bit of lemons will squeeze and she will give to you. Now you might think, sir, first of all I have an acidity problem. Why my mother is adding the lemon juice inside the soda? Because more than acidic component, alkaline components are more in the what? In the lemon. So that's the reason they add. When we drink, then what will happen? Acid plus base neutral. Or you take the milk of magnesia, glucosyl, what we take, no? Milk of magnesia and all. So that time, so those are called as what? Antacids. What they call? Antacids. Okay. See here, our stomach produces hydrochloric acid, that is pH 1 to 3, which helps in the digestion of the food without the harming the stomach. Sometimes excess acid is produced in the stomach, which causes the indigestion. Why it is produced, you know very well. To get rid of this pain, bases called, or usually they use mild base. They will not use a strong base like sodium hydroxide. Sir, acidity, anyway HCl is strong, I will take the strong